If you want to see my flawless cream foundation routine, keep watching. Now I'm going in with Studio Radiance Moisturizing and Illuminating Silkening Primer. This is actually the first time I used it, and I really do like it. I'm using foundation sticks from Black Opal. I use Nutmeg and Heavenly Honey to create a custom color. I like to apply the cream foundation to my skin and then blend out so that the product can warm up to my skin. When it comes to my skin tone, I am very neutral and the foundation is more on the yellow side, but it's very hard for me to find a neutral olive color foundation. So I try to just mix and match. So yes, I'm very aware that it is a little too yellow for me, but we are going to combat that with the contour color. So my contour color is going to be neutral. It's going to be neutral, and my powders are also going to be neutral. So we're using Ebony Bronze, and we're going to use that as our contour color. So as you can see, it's more neutral and it looks more closer to my skin tone. So we're going to spray the face, spray the brush, because you want to make sure that the foundation blends perfectly. And you do not want to use a dry brush or a beauty blender for this step. Trust me. You want it to look airbrush and skin-like. So I'm just going to be blending out this contour until I feel like it looks seamless to me. Don't forget to go back with your beauty blender and blend out any harsh edges that you may have. So I just like to make sure that everything is seamless, like I said. I'm going to also use creams under my eyes. If you are somebody who has a lot of creasing or you feel like your under eye is dry, creams are the way to go. I'm actually using the color Kalahari Sand just to highlight under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, and on my chin. Now I'm using Rich Caramel just to undercut my contour. And I'm going to also be using Beautiful Bronze to contour my nose. When it comes to blending out creams, you're going to need a beauty blender. It's going to be your best friend, trust me. I also added Rich Caramel on my eyelids just because I knew I wasn't doing any eyeshadow. And we already had extra product on the brush, so why not just utilize it? And of course, we're going to go back and blend with our beauty blender. And now I'm going in with Cashew for an extra bright look, because you already know I love me a bright under eye. I'm going to go back in and blend out my contour since I just added a little bit more concealer under the eyes. You want to make sure there's no harsh lines. I'm going to take Cashew down the bridge of my nose just to make sure that my nose contour is on point. I actually love me a snatched nose. Now it's time for my dry powder puff. I actually love this step. I'm just using it to make sure that there is no creasing because we are going to set. I'm going to take Banana Bread from Huda Beauty and I'm going to set my under eye. I'm not going to bake with this powder as of yet. Setting is just pushing the powder in and making sure everything is in place. Now I am baking, which is just taking excess powder and just letting it sit on top. I'm going to set the top of my lip and on my chin, but now we are going into the baking phase. So we're taking Blondie and I'm going to bake under my contour. I don't set under my contour, I just go straight in and bake. Now I'm taking Cinnabon setting powder and I'm going to set my contour. You're just going to take a fluffy brush and you're just going to pat the product on top of where you contoured. This is the most satisfying part for me because you can actually see all the hard work you've just put in, all the contouring, all the chiseling, all the highlighting. It just brings everything together. I'm going to actually use this setting powder to define my crease. And also contour my nose. When it comes to makeup, you don't have to go crazy. I'm using setting powders and cream foundations to create an eyeshadow look. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. I'm taking Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark from MAC, and I'm just going to set the areas that I didn't set, which is around my mouth, around my jawline, and right in between my contour area. This powder is actually more of a neutral, so it's going to help neutralize that foundation and help bring everything together. And I'm actually going to use this as well to knock off that Blondie baking powder. These are my Sephora powders. I actually love these. This is Honey and Beige, and we're using it just to knock off their under eye bake. This is a dupe for MAC Mineralized Skin Finishes. Now I'm taking another Sephora powder in the color Deep, and I'm just going to use that just to blend everything out. Now I'm going to be using some bronzers from Morphe, and I'm going to be using a fluffy brush just to pack this on. I don't like to use a lot of bronzer, so I take a little bit at a time, pat it on, and I'll just use a fluffy brush, and it actually gives you like an airbrush effect. We're going to also put that in the crease and down the bridge of the nose. Of course, you want to switch to a smaller brush just to be more precise down the bridge of the nose and in the crease, but I definitely do like to use a big fluffy brush just to give me, like I said, that airbrush effect. I wanted to be extra, of course, and add a second bronzer. The first bronzer has more of a cool tone. This actually has more of a red tone, just to act as a blush, so to speak. Now I'm going to spray my face with some Fix Plus because we've been using a lot of powders because you know we want the cream to be set all the way. So you're just going to make sure that you drench the face, make sure you dry it. I did liner off camera. I popped some lashes on off camera. Now I'm going back in with honey and beige just to make sure that under the eye is bright like I like it and everything is smooth. So we're just doing some finishing touches. Since I added more powder, we're going to spray one more time. Be careful with that liner. And we are looking good, nice and dewy and skin-like. We're going to be using Currant and we're going to also be using Cork. But I want to use Currant first because I want that color to be more prominent. And the Cork actually will just help it, you know, blend into the skin tone better. Now I'm going in with lipstick from MAC. It is in the color Bronx, and it's such a pretty mauvey color and actually complements my skin tone and the lip liner. I actually really love this lip combo. Now it's time for me to take down my hair. I actually curled it off camera, so we're just going to take the pins down and give you the finished look.